Hey guys, so today I have swatches of the Mooncat Goddess Complex collection. There are 6 polishes here all together. These are available right now, so I will link the Mooncat website down below and I will get into the swatches.
So the first polish is called Ghosts of Hecate, and this is described as a sheer white polish filled with color-shifting blue to purple shimmer and micro holographic glitter. So this is sheer like we addressed, and it is also very, very shifty. It looked completely different in the viewfinder than it did with my eyes on my nail. So it was this blue violet shade in the viewfinder, but it was very, very pink from the angle that I was looking at it, like directly on my nail. I also saw brush strokes in the viewfinder that I could not see in person. So it was interesting. I did 3 coats here. You could still see a little bit of nail line after 3 coats. My nails are pretty short, so if your nails are longer, then you are going to have a much more obvious nail line. And the holographic bits that are in here also stand out really nicely. So that is 3 coats of Ghosts of Hecate. The next polish is called Aphrodisiac, and this is described as a sheer pink polish filled with purple shimmer and micro holographic glitter. This one has a slightly different feel than the last polish. It's a little bit more opaque than the last color. It is a little less, actually it's a lot less shifty. It still has a nice kind of contrasting blue shimmer in that pink, but it's not changing colors at every single angle change. My second coat here definitely could have been more even. I could not keep Biscuit off of my desk, and I had redone the first coat 3 times, and then she jumped back up and messed up the second coat, and emotionally I could not handle doing it again, so I went with it. So all was well with the third coat. My nail line was covered pretty well, so I would say this is a nice solid coverage in 3 coats, maybe 2 if you don't have a really bad kitty. So that is 3 coats of Aphrodisiac. The next polish is called Demeters Harvest, and this is described as a golden polish filled with color-shifting yellow to red to green shimmer. This is so sparkly, and it's also so much more shifty than I thought it was going to be from looking at it in the bottle. I expected just a really nice, shimmery, sparkly golden yellow, but it is so shifty. It is very golden from some angles, very green from some angles, and very pink from other angles. It's a really, really cool polish. It built up pretty well in 2 coats despite being a bit more sheer in the first. There are virtually no brush strokes through that shimmer, and it's a very, very even coverage. I did end up adding a 3rd coat just to kind of see what it would do. It did cover completely in 3, but I'm not sure that that 3rd coat was entirely necessary. So that is 3 coats of Demeters Harvest. The next polish is called Curse of Calypso, and this is described as a sheer lilac pink with color-shifting gold to green shimmer. This is very sheer, but it is even. I know I talked about the sheerness, we've been over that, but one thing for me that makes or breaks a more sheer polish is whether it's even or not, because there's no point in having sheer coverage if it's going to look really like sloppy and weird because it doesn't cover evenly, and this does cover really evenly. That being said, this did actually build up really well in the 2nd coat and ended up covering pretty decently by the time we were at the 3rd coat. I could still see a little bit of nail line, and if you have a whiter nail line or longer nails, you're going to see more of that, but it wasn't that bad considering how sheer it started out. This is another one of those polishes that had a really good, really strong shift. It looked like a completely different polish depending on the angle that you were looking at it from. So that is 3 coats of Curse of Calypso. The next polish is called Earth to Gaia, and this is described as a sheer jade green with pink shimmer and micro holographic glitter. So this one is a little bit sheer, but it is very even, and it wasn't streaky at all. The holographic sparkle that's in there stands out really well, and I do really like the contrast between that pink shimmer and that kind of blue-green base. This built up pretty well for me in 2 coats with a little bit of nail line showing. The 3rd coat did cover that nail line almost completely, but there was still a bit peeking through. Like I've said before, my nails are short, so it's not super noticeable here, but if you have longer nails or a wider nail line or a combination of both, you're going to see that a lot more. So that is 3 coats of Earth to Gaia. And the last polish is called Artemis Deathkiss, and this is described as a gray-purple polish filled with purple shimmer and micro holographic glitter. So this is a little bit sheer. The shimmer that's in this is more matchy-matchy with the base, so it doesn't have that big, strong pop of contrasting shimmer like the last polish did. The holographic sparkle that's in there stands out pretty well. It did build up decently on 2 coats. I could still see a little bit of my nail line, so I did add a 3rd coat which covered it almost completely. I think you'd be really hard pressed to see nail line through this one, even if your nails are a little bit longer, but if you look close enough, you could probably find it. So that is 3 coats of Artemis Deathkiss.
So 2 favorites. I've been picking 2 favorites most of the time lately, but my favorites are going to be Demeters Harvest and Curse of Calypso. So for very similar reasons, that these all have a nice shimmer, some contrast, some don't. They all have like shimmer and little flakies and everything, but these two had a little bit more of a, I don't want to call it a scattered shimmer, but it is like a little bit of a more broken up shimmer and less of a pearly shimmer, if that makes sense, because these aren't really pearly, they don't have brush strokes, so I don't really know how to describe what I'm trying to say. I think I would have figured it out after doing this as long as I have, but the shimmer is a little bit broken up, which makes it a little bit more sparkly, a little bit more reflective, and just my eye is always drawn to those. These are also really, really shifty. I was really surprised with Demeters Harvest because it was so much shiftier on my nails than I thought it was going to be from looking at it in the bottle. It looked like a pretty solid yellow with that pink/red shimmer, and it ended up being a lot shiftier on my nails than I thought. And then Curse of Calypso, it looks very purple in the bottle, but I couldn't even nail this color down because every angle that I looked at it from was different. It looked different looking straight down at my nail than it did in the viewfinder, and when I like moved my nail in the viewfinder and in person, the shift was different. It's really, really color changing, very shifty polish, so like that one as well. So that is the Mooncat Goddess Complex collection. Again, those are available right now, so I will link the Mooncat website down below. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will talk to you later.